And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get yourself down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15%. Make sure you get some of the new chicken dunkers, as they are off the charts good. And get you some sauce while you're there. A little take home of Galactic sauce. I was watching Sauce play a little Call of Duty on Twitch tonight for a little bit as I was doing some back end clerical work. Aaron, it was fun. Not really. Not a ton new today on the housekeeping side of things. The Bearcats.
R.I.P. Mike Leach.
R.I.P. Mike Leach. I was going to get to that. Definitely a sad day for college football, as maybe the biggest personality character in the game.
One of a kind.
Absolutely one of a kind. And as has been mentioned a lot today, maybe the biggest innovator in passing offense in the history of college football.
Some of the stories that have emerged from this guy, though, from reporters who are like, I asked him if I could walk with him. He's like, sure, just get your best walking shoes. And they would walk, because I guess he walked to the office every day from where his home was at one of the schools he was at. Another guy was like, I called him for an interview, and I'm like, is that a whistle in the background? He's like, yeah, I'm at practice. He's like, oh, well, we can do this at a later time. He's like, no, you got me now. And proceeded to give him 20 minutes while he was running practice.
Yep.
I mean, just one of a kind.
There
will never be another like him.
There was a guy a college football player that was recruited by them, and he came in his office and sat down, and Leach was like, all right, magic trick. If you get it right, you commit to me. Did you see this?
Mm-mm.
He's like, all right, deck of 52 cards. You say black or red. This pile is black. This pile is red. And if you get them all right, then you're coming to Texas Tech, is when he was Texas Tech. So they sat there and did the whole 52 cards, red, black, 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 red, red, black, red. And then he turned over both of the stacks, and one of them was all red and one of them was all black. And the dude was like, what just happened? How?
You got.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't commit. I ended up going to Nebraska, but but that story always stuck with me. So yeah, rest in peace to Mike.
Tell him no after that.
I know. You have to. He got you. You got. You have to commit to play for Mike Leach at that point.
Yeah.
So rest in peace to him. We did talk to Kerry Combs yesterday. I think maybe we'll save some commentary on that until we start to get into the bowl game, probably Thursday. Tomorrow we'll have the Miami of Ohio game to talk about. So Thursday's show will probably be pretty much devoted to the bowl game and Kerry and the past couple weeks, and Kerry getting a chance to run the show one more time and be the head coach of the Bearcats for a bowl game. Tonight, I want a general topic tonight, Aaron, because we're about to get into bowl season. The bowl games start on Friday. And basically this year and next year are kind of the last hurrah, I think, for what the bowl season as we know it. Because the 12-team playoff is going to start in 2024. That is going to, you're going to have quarterfinals, semifinals, finals. Actually, I think 4 rounds of playoffs, because you go from 12 to 8, or 12 to 8, then 8 to 4, 4 to 2, 2 to 1. No, that's not right.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, yeah, you're right. You eliminate 4 teams in the first round, 4 teams in the second round. Yeah, so 4 rounds of playoffs. 4 rounds of playoffs.
Yeah.
I as we get into this and we get farther along, 4, 8, 10. That's 11. That's 11 additional college football games. That'll be spread out from right about now, maybe next week, through, the second week of January. Do you think the bowl system as we know it is going to survive the 12-team playoff? The New Year's 6 bowls will be out because those will be part of the playoff.
So long as you have companies willing to just hemorrhage money to put their name on a game that features a middling 6-6 SEC team against a middling 6-6 Big Ten team, I think you'll continue to see the bowl season as it has been.
So I guess here's my question, and the sponsor thing is interesting. I think that part comes down more to ESPN because ESPN is the one that is
running the show.
ESPN is the one that's keeping bowl season afloat because they need live inventory.
They expanded it.
The holidays, yeah.
I mean, they took it from what it was when we were younger. I mean, you remember when we were in our 20s, there were maybe 20 bowl games, 25?
There's more than that. There was still but it wasn't half of the sport.
Not this.
Yeah. I think that what's going to be interesting is fan interest. And I think if they survive, you know what I think is going to save bowl games if bowl games survive? Gambling. Because it gives it gives gamblers something to do on a random Wednesday afternoon in late December. But
sure,
but
if gambling was legal in Ohio and in Kentucky, as it is already in Indiana, is Kentucky supposed to be getting it?
No, but it's live in Ohio January 1st.
Right, January 1st, Ohio gets it. But I think that would automatically boost Cincinnati's ratings against Louisville at the Fenway Bowl if you had Ohio able to do so, and throw Kentucky in there. If Kentucky was able to do it, that would also boost ratings for UC in a bowl game, Louisville in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, it's not the case.
Kentucky, it's going to be forever because they truly believe that sports betting would kill the horse racing industry. When if they had half a brain, they would just put sports books in racing the parks,
Turfway,
and then Turfway, Churchill, Keeneland, and then every day you would be getting business from the people that want to use the sports book. And you know what they actually might do while they're there?
Drink.
Bet on the horse races that are going on outside.
Sure.
And drink and eat. Yeah.
Hang out.
Soda.
Just make it cushy as shit. Like, I mean, that's the fun of going to Vegas, right? Like, I mean, we've all been to Vegas and gone to the sports book. Like, you don't leave.
Right.
You hang out there because you have a server waiting on you. So you're getting drinks. You got the oxygen being pumped in. You got TVs everywhere.
No light anywhere.
I was in a recliner. Like, why would I have left? It was amazing. Why would I leave?
So I do think there is another thing that could kill the bowl season as we know it. And that's guys just not playing. Because I think these games, as we enter this transfer portal era and we enter the era of opting out to get ready for the draft, all of that stuff becoming more and more and more prominent. Gambling on these games, if you're an actual gambler, how do you gamble on these games?
It's certainly very difficult when you don't know, you've never seen some of these guys play.
Who's playing? Who's coaching? Louisville's got 3 coaches. I think Cincinnati's got 6. 5, 6, something like that. Yeah. And both teams have had major pieces opt out. Both teams have had important pieces enter the transfer portal. You're not for a good chunk of these games, Aaron. You're not going to have any clue until the ball is kicked who is going to be on the field for that game and what roles that they're going to have.
And it's not as if opting out is something new.
But it's becoming
for years.
more and more
popular. Yeah, it's becoming more and more popular for a guy. I mean, look at the people you have already in the transfer portal for Cincinnati. Now, granted, that's coming on the heels of a coach leaving, but I'm curious what this roster would look like if Fickle and company was still here, because I still think you'd have seen probably a half dozen guys still in the transfer portal, regardless.
Yeah, there were some guys that were headed for the transfer portal, whether
Sure.
Fickle and company stayed or not.
Right.
And then like a Lenny Taylor probably would have opted out, a Josh Wiley would have opted out,
Trey Tucker
probably would have opted out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I that's what do you think is a bigger threat to? I guess that's the better question here. Stream of consciousness as we do these things, like we like to do these things, because what's a bigger threat to the bowl game system? The transfer portal and opting out and the uncertainty about what your roster is going to look like if you're not in the playoff. Because I think once the playoff starts, it's going to get even worse. Because there's going to be a very distinctive, like, you're in or you're out on the playoff system.
Well, and there will be injuries. Let's not kid ourselves. In three games, I mean, if whoever makes it to the national championship is playing at least 2.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the traditional bowl system.
No, I understand.
Fading into Bolivia.
My point is, if you were worried about injury and you see some of these guys get injured that we're going to profile as a first through third pick, where traditionally the higher money is, first to a third round pick in the NFL draft, why would you stick around and play a game for a championship or a trophy for a coach that you're not going to be under next year? And
but I don't think you're going to see much. I just don't think you're going to see it in the playoff. But where like in the playoff system, guys want to win a championship still. Outside of, on the other side, if you're not one of those 12 teams, everybody, basically, if you're not coming back next year to be a part of that team, why would you play? If you're going in the portal or you're going pro, whatever. So what I'm saying is, like, those other 18 bowl games or 9, whatever it is, they're going to be in danger because none of them are going to be good games. None of them are going to be, they might be compelling, like, in the moment. Like, you turn it on that, Thursday, December 27th at 3:00 in the afternoon, and it's Iowa State and Wake Forest. Like, nobody cares about that game to begin with.
No.
And you can't gamble on it responsibly because you have no freaking idea who's on the field for either team. If you happen to know who plays for either team, and you probably don't because that's how the bowl stuff works anyway. It's just 2 teams on your TV screen half the time. I just think it's fascinating. Like, I think that system as we know it is in for a bumpy ride once the playoff starts. Maybe it'll find its footing, but there's a lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty.
Curious to see what the payouts on those types of bowl games would be as well, especially if you hit a parlay where you're hitting on a couple different games where they're collectively between like 3 games, you're missing about 50 players.
The odds makers are going to have their work cut out for them. Here's the other thing I'm curious, Aaron. Do you think fans quit going?
I'm very curious to see what the attendance at the Fenway Bowl looks like.
Well, the Fenway Bowl's a little bit, it's a small stadium. Like, you're not dealing with playing in a 60,000 seat NFL stadium, right?
No.
So, and it's distributed weird because it's baseball. I'm still very
curious
too. But what I'm getting at is, I think you'll be able to make that place look relatively crowded, even if it's not like packed, just because of the stadium size.
Yeah.
But like, you put a game in a 50,000 seat stadium in Gasparilla, Texas, for 2 teams that are 1,500 miles away from Gasparilla, are people really gonna like go out of their way to go to bowl games for their 7-5 team where they're spending with inflation. You're spending $8,000 to take your family on a 4-day trip to see a bowl game.
Your team, by the way, is also missing somewhere between 5 and 8 starters on collectively
both sides of the ball.
Both sides of the ball. Right.
Yeah. Like I don't know, man. Like I honestly think because of like everything piling up, if you're not in that playoff, I think, and maybe there'll be some like, like the Gator Bowl or some of the bigger name bowls that aren't going to be in the playoff system. Maybe there's 5, 8, 10 of those that manage to find a way to hang around. But like the Bahamas Bowl with Miami of Ohio.
You know how you counter this though, right? You make it an NIL deal for the players participating.
Yeah, and then guess what? The only way you play or you play is if you or the only way you get paid is if you play. But then the schools are giving up that bowl money, and
you want the game?
They want the money. I think they want the money more than the game, Aaron.
You're gonna have to find a happy medium.
Yeah.
Or
it's an interesting debate.
Or just have less bowls and have companies piled together and have the Gatorade Frito-Lay's bowl. Like, I mean,
the Taco Bell KFC bowl.
Well, that's the same company, essentially.
Oh my God, you're such a wet blanket. I'm making fun of the fact that they're in the same building. Like, you go to the drive-through and you can order the Sunoco McDonald's bowl.
Now, there's a good one.
The Circle K Wendy's bowl.
Loves Wendy's.
Yeah, like.
I'm just saying, there's workarounds, right?
Maybe.
There's ways that you could potentially do this, collecting more money, less bowl games, pile these people in together, have. No one wants to watch 6 and 6 teams play anyway.
No, unless you got skin in the game, and if you got skin in the game on 2 6 and 6 teams that are missing half their starters, the problem's probably you. There we go. That's the nightcap. We'll see you tomorrow night. Recapping Miami of Ohio. Brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken. Right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!